I think the FFS Talk podcast needs more listeners, more participation, more topics, more cool stuff to bring to the table that we can hash out.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know that's a lot to ask. Today is a meta episode. No topic to discuss in particular other than the show itself. So to enable some of those things, I have been talking about this on my other less focused, I guess, podcast called the Quaggling Sand podcast. Quaggling sand is the term I came up with at around age 4 for what you might call pins and needles. If you know what I'm talking about, when you maybe you sit on your hand or your foot or something and it goes numb, and then when the circulation returns, you can feel the almost painful quaggling sand. Of course, that's what you can picture it now when I'm saying that, quaggling sand. You know exactly what I mean. So that seemed like a good name to use for something. Why not a fun podcast about projects and what people are working on? So not nearly as focused as what FFS Talk should be. Excuse me. And of course, you can hear my voice is once again affected by my allergies. If you are a subscriber to the weekend newsletter from the FFS Talk podcast, then you know that we did not send one out for July 8th. Sorry, 9th. Friday, 9th. So we did not send one out. Too tired, too spent. A long week. The hot weather in Las Vegas is not helping, but really the question is whether I had a cold or just really intense allergies, and I'm thinking it might be intense allergies. Anyway, so you can probably hear it in my voice. It's still labored, as always. Normally in Las Vegas, this goes away. Comes in with April, May, wind, dust, allergies. June, hot, less allergy. July, normally fine, monsoons. The normal course of events from the previous 7 years, I think. So this one is a little unusual. Anyway, so as I was discussing in the other podcast, the whole channel, the whole Quaggling Sand podcast is about projects and technologies and things. And I would like to see some modernization of podcast, discovery, production, of course, would be nice. Discovery, sharing, interaction. Drop-in audio is a nice feature that Clubhouse has sort of noted that they did not invent podcasting, but they did seem to strike a chord with the interactive crowd. Yes, initially it was the iPhone-only crowd, and I am not a fan of Clubhouse. I think the way that they approached everything and the way the elite were promoting it as a sort of a join us over here, it doesn't really fit into the environment that podcasting is supposed to enable. So I was not a fan, nor will I be a fan. We can accomplish the same thing using other tools and other means and other approaches that I think will be more inclusive and more interesting, and will hopefully fit into the topic arc notion. But in general, enabling more discussion, more discussion than zero right now. I'd like to integrate in some of the newsletter stuff in-house, so to speak. And so the discovery, sharing, interaction, publication, workflow being sort of self-authored is on the agenda for the week. And so this meta episode is covering those intentions, the plan. We will probably mention something, and when I say we, I mean me, myself, and I for the moment. But we'll probably mention something, right? Yeah. By the end of the week, So that will be the 16th of July. So if you haven't already, you can check in the description of this show in your podcast software. There will be a link to the show notes newsletter on Substack, and also a link to the weekend, which is currently published via Twitter's review newsletter platform. So both of those will see some consolidation moving forward, I think, after this week. So check those out, or by the time you are listening to the next episode of the FFS Talk podcast, hopefully my voice will have improved, which is unlikely. And there will be some interesting things to discuss in the way of production, discovery, sharing, and interaction when it comes to podcasting. We'll see. That seems more likely. My voice will probably never get better, but hopefully my own take on the podcast terrain, environment, workflow, interaction, hopefully all that will improve where my voice may not. So thank you for listening to this brief meta episode, Meta July, and I hope some of the plans come to pass, and I hope that I will attract an interested and interesting crowd of listeners, guests, and interactive participation. How about that? All right. Thank you for listening, and do check out the show notes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know where to begin. ffstalk.substack.com for the show notes newsletter, and FFS Talk.com on Twitter. Those are two good starting points. Too many social media links and cross-linking, and things don't fit together nicely as yet. So got to rectify all that. It should be a simple matter to share and participate and all that. And that's the project for the week. So again, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next week.